If you want to learn how to trade just like me, join the community, click the private Discord link, sign up through this membership level, and you will gain access to weekly group mentorship calls for free. In my last Bitcoin update, we started to see price coming down, and a lot of YouTubers, big reputable ones, were actually starting to get bearish over here. But what we were suggesting on the channel is that we have two levels of support that we need to hold. One being this purple box of support over here, where we were previously suggesting that we were ranging between these 2 points and wait to see if this lower band or this higher band will give in. We saw the bullish breakout, and so you would assume that you just come and test this previous resistance as support, and that is what led to a lot of YouTubers saying that okay, this is now a fake out to the upside and we're now looking for downward continuation. But here on the channel we use a lot more than just fake outs. We use moving averages, key levels on the Fibonacci, and a lot of things are pointing at this over here, suggesting that this is the level of support that we need to hold. And while we are still maintaining this area between the 786 and the golden pocket, then we are still looking for a breakout to the upside, in which since my last video we have seen some upside since this downfall over here. We're looking to break out again. You can see that we've broken the high on the left over here, and we're now trying to flip it into support to break out and continue high and break this high at 35,000 or 36,000, and then this will help us get to our next technical target. Now we're going to look in this video update on the future technical targets, where Bitcoin is heading to next in the future, where its possible bull market target could be, and possible dump scenarios as well. So make sure you stay tuned. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, as we're so close to 7,000 subscribers. And yeah, just enjoy today's update. Now I'm going to scale up over to the daily time frame, where I already have some fibs placed. And we can say that its suggestion is that on the break of 32,000, we're going to head to 38 to 40k, and possibly even 50,000 as the 786 fib. So we'll look into all of this today, and what's going on down here that we've been now that we've been spending about a week or maybe even longer now in this 35k area over here. The reason why we stopped in this range is because it was a CME gap in the past. We did have one down here at 20k that has not yet actually been filled. Could that still be the case? I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. I think we're now on a trajectory to the upside, but I will be looking at where we could be topping out in today's update, which I believe will be in the price range of 38 to 50k. And then we're going to look at further confluences for targets to the upside. Now what I'm going to do is head back to the old bull market over here, where we can look at the bull market targets for this previous one and what its suggestions were. So if we go to the 3k bottom right there, we can see that we actually topped out where we needed to, which was the 1618 target. A lot of YouTubers, including myself, were saying that if 30k was to hold, which is the 1272, we're not going to be coming down to this, and then we actually will surpass this 1618, head to the next target of 100k. But I saw, even before this loss of the 1.272, I saw the bullish structure being changed, as at the 1414 we had this higher low, and immediately back in January of 2022, when I saw a lower low being created below this point, I knew that we're no longer in uptrend structure, or that in the immediate short term over the next weeks and months we're not going to be going up. So this is where I actually sold my crypto, not even waiting for the invalidation of this higher up target, just simply looking for change of structure, which was seen over here. A lot of YouTubers were waiting for 30k to be broken as a last final nail in the coffin, but we were more than happy to get out over here at about 40,000, simply because we saw a change in trend. And then we can see that eventually resulted in a loss of 30k and us returning down to the 1 fib at 19k, where I also had about a 17.5k target out of this massive breakdown over here being met. And this is where I considered the bottom and that I was going to start entering back into crypto. We of course lost the support. It looked like it confirmed its resistance, but then we instantly reclaimed it, and that was not another go signal. And all of these bullish signals flashing down here would suggest that okay, now this rally to the downside is complete. We now need to retrace to those key levels of resistance now, which is seen as the golden pocket. And using the last bull market's Fibonacci targets, we can see that some very key levels on the chart is 31.6 to 40k. And if we go back to recent months, back to July over here, we can see that we kissed this 1272 at 31,600 very nicely, and you were constantly holding it as resistance. And the moment you go ahead and break this, you validate that next target. We just know that what we've been held up by is that 35k CME gap resistance, and as soon as we clear it, we got clearance until that level over there. But we've also got the 786 here, the 1618 at 60k, and then past that point over there, the next target would be 118k. And going to the most recent fibs, from our most recent bull market top to our bear market bottom, we have some confluence within this area over here. So a lot of things are suggesting for that 100k target. So what I'm now going to do is use my fibs from this COVID dump over here from the beginning. Well, it wasn't from there that it began, but this was our peak and that was our low right there. And I'm just going to drag it to here, and we can see some further confluences. So it said that 28k was going to be some level of resistance. We can see in the past it was support right there, keeping us bullish. And then when we lost this high low, we're seeing change of structure. But as we come up and come back up to those levels, they're going to act as resistance. So see, we had our first top over here. We were holding support of the 1414. That's why we eventually broke out. The next two Fibonacci's at 46k. And we've got some future targets here at 65 and 76k. So I believe that when we break the high, we will see a lot of these targets. I'm not too sure about 200k or even 170k, even though that's calling for the 1618. I think it will be more in between the 100 and 120k area. I think that we could obviously top out before this point. That's why I will actually start to get out probably around the 80-90k area. But I think that the news event that the 100k will bring, you know, all over the news. Think about 10-15 years ago when people thought Bitcoin was a scam or for money laundering or for the dark web and all of that. That was its only use case. And now if we get to in this bull market to 100k, imagine all the old people, all older generations that are doubting it. They might start to look into getting some, and that would be your final like retail FOMO pump. And maybe we do go a little bit higher to 111 to 128k, and then finally top out. I'm going to front run all of this personally. I know when Bitcoin tops out, and it starts going sideways, we can even still see 10x's on some coins. This is something that I experienced in this range over here for Bitcoin. It had done nothing. I think this was a 5 to 10k range at this top, and this was a few like 3-4 month period over here. And I saw coins like VeChain that I experienced doing a 10x in that time. Bitcoin was doing nothing. So when Bitcoin does start to round off and whatnot, there will still be chances for altcoins to have a final pump. And yeah, that could be 10x, that could be even more, that could be even less than 10x. Just something to watch out for. So I'm going to start scaling out between the 80 to 100k area, just in case we never get that those massive headlines that are suggesting, oh, Bitcoin is 100k. If that did come, if Bitcoin does get to 100k and it's all over the news and all over the world, then I think we could get that final retail FOMO kicking in and then get that final pump closer to 111 to 128k. I might be wrong, but I'm just rather be conservative right now than saying, oh, we're 100% going to 250 and 300,000. I'd rather stick to my conservative targets, simply because last time round we were hoping for 100 to 200k, and we can see that we never actually broke above the previous bull market 1618, which was actually sitting at 61,000. Okay, so that 111k has actually changed a little bit because that high was wrong. We got multiple things looking at the 125 to 130k area, so nice confluence around there. That's where the retail FOMO would kick in at 100k, when all the news lines are flashing and then news headlines are flashing, and then it could be that we pump a little bit higher to this point and then we see the crash. So in order to go ahead and meet these targets, we need to break the golden pocket. That is sitting at 40,000 at the moment and as high as 50,000. So to get above those levels, we would finally validate those targets and expect an over 100% gain from that point. The final thing that I will leave you guys off with in this update is a little schematic, just past patterns that are repeating themselves. So I was able to call this bottom over here because I saw some similar structures being formed, a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder, followed by a double bottom and then a massive dump. And I saw this pattern in the past. I've spoken about this a long time ago on the channel. And then shoulder, head, shoulder, double bottom, break above the moving averages, and a big dump. So what I did when I started to notice that it was happening over here, I just simply went from the top of the COVID crash down to the bottom and moved that to that wick at the top over there. And we can see that I called that target very, very nicely. And this is why I started to get back into crypto in and around this area after selling on this lower low over here. So what I then started to notice is that it's happening the opposite way. Shoulder, head, shoulder. And instead of a double bottom, we're seeing an M pattern. Remember, this double bottom failed. This M pattern has failed. And then what do we see next? Massive moves to the upside. So I believe that Bitcoin could actually be in a technical target to the all-time high, simply because if we're taking this W, that if I just drag this so it's straight, just like that, so it's a bit more straight. So we're taking this target from the W. So what we would do is on the opposite, we put it on the M at the peak right there. And we can see that it's actually calling for the all-time high at 69,000. So this would actually suggest, guys, that we are in a technical target. We're on our journey to the all-time high. We've now just spotted the fractal, the schematics telling us that we are going to the all-time high. But we also need to understand that although the all-time high is now a target, there are loads of key levels before that point, which could make us have dumps, corrections that last months on end. So we could top out right now at the golden pocket at 38 to 40k, where we start to see Bitcoin coming back down and eventually go up to that target. Or we could do that, continue to 50k, see another dump, and then get to that target. Please do understand that the target is now valid, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a straight line path to that point. There's also no timestamp to when we do actually get up there, just that as long as we maintain now this key level of support, where in fact on the daily time frame we see the 200 EMA, which would signify that this is in a daily bull market. Also, if we head over to the 5-day time frame, or the weekly as most of you guys use, let's just stick to the weekly, we can see that the 200 EMA use this key level where the M pattern had formed as support. This would essentially be the opposite way around over here, and the 200 EMA, I know it's not appearing, but the opposite way, it would be like keeping below this point is keeping you bearish. We can see that we had a high over here and we made a lower high, so that's all keeping bearish structure. And there's no over here on this there's no bearish structure being kept over here, because we never lost this low. So this is actually bullish structure, so that's why we've eventually broken out of the highs over here, met the target, and now we're onwards and upwards to our 38 to 40k target, as high as 50k if we do not get a dump from here. I will be here to update you guys when we do get those sell signals, but for the moment it's anywhere between this 10k range or 12k range over here that we're simply waiting for, and then we will get this deeper correction. And after that point, after that correction does survive, we will be heading back to our 68 69k top that we see over here, simply because we have a technical target. We're seeing repeated patterns that played out in the past over here and over here, and now it's just happening the opposite way. That's going to take us back to the all-time high. But there will be corrections on the way. Stay tuned, make sure you have subscribed and turn on the notification bell on so you're made aware of when these updates do come out, as they are time sensitive. And if you want me to teach you how how to read the charts just like me, to be able to get future bull market targets, to know those exact levels that you know need to be broken in order for things to be in place, then use the links in the description down below. Head over to my website or to my Twitter and private message me for more information. There's loads of things in place over there. If any of you are interested in learning how to trade just like me, there's multiple options. Click this ebook. It covers all the strategies that I use in these YouTube updates, so you will have all the same skills. Covers the Japanese candlestick, chart patterns, support and resistance, why I use EMAs over trend lines, Fibonacci's, divergences, and again, using these all together to profit using them. I've also got a discount on my course at the moment, which ends at the end of this month. So that's down to £100. You also gain free access to my Discord community for the next 3 months, where you can expect to be a part of 12 to 24 group mentorship calls. If you want something that's a bit more personalized to your needs, then join my one-to-one mentorship plan. You can choose 5 or 10 hours of my one-to-one help, and included will be the 3 months free in the community, as well as my 6-hour long video course.